Okay, guys, good evening. Welcome back. Today, guys, we are going to continue with our Linux session. So today is Linux day 6 session, and today the date is 16th of your October 2025, and the timing is evening 7:04 a.m. Sorry, p.m. IST. So okay, guys. So in last session, that is day before yesterday, we took day 5 session, right? If you try to check it out, we broadly understood like uh, Linux has both the modes, GUI mode as well as a command line mode, right? But usually in the organization, we always have a command line mode or the virtual interfaces. GUI mode is rarely been installed or rarely been configured in the organization because at the server level, we never install the GUI packages. So what are those packages and all, we'll discuss in some time. But when you install certain package, you are going to get that feature, right? Even in Windows also, when you start installing any of the package or software, right, you will get all those features what is required. So when during installation, when they are trying to install the Linux operating system, consider that they are installing Red Hat Linux or RHEL, they will not include this GUI package at all. There are a lot of GUI package, or we call it as a X packages, X packages. So those X packages are the one which will help you to get the GUI mode, graphical user interface mode. Okay, so now, those are the two interfaces, or GUI as well as a command line. So as I said, command line is the one which will always be there in the Linux, not the GUI. So why they don't have a GUI? Because we don't do much operation into the GUI. That is one thing. Second important thing, why we don't install GUI means GUI will consume a lot of memory and a lot of CPU cycles, right? And it also requires some considerable number of hard disk also, right? So hence what happens, we don't you do it because we don't want to make our system slow. So that's the reason they will not install those X packages, okay, or genome package or X KDE desktop packages. Though desktop packages, they won't install it while installing in the real time in the organization. Okay, guys. Now, and also we had discussed about what are the different subsystem of the operating system, or we call it the kernel. So we saw everything. We also discussed those things, and also we had just discussed about what's a boot process, right, and how boot process takes place. So, guys, one small question: what is a bootloader which is used in Linux? Can anyone quickly tell me? Bootloader
Grub,
used
grub.
in Grub bootloader. Yeah, Grand Unified Bootloader. Right. For Windows, it is NTLDR bootloader, right? Bootloader, it's a special program which is invoked by the BIOS. And what the bootloader do, bootloader is going to load your compressed image of your operating system, and then like it will help to make that operating system up and running. So it means that what are the compressed image of the operating system which is loaded into the memory, that will get uncompressed, and finally you will get a full-fledged operating system. So who does all those operations? The boot process will does all those. I mean, sorry, the bootloader will do all those operations. So bootloader, it's a special program which is nothing but the grub bootloader actually, right? So that's how we had discussed. So what we are going to discuss today. So guys, today we will continue with where we are left, right? And as I said in the last session also, during the boot process, what happened? Boot process. So compressed image of the operating system, OS, or we call the kernel, is loaded into the memory, is loaded into the RAM memory. Compressed image means basically, guys, we have two images. One is a VM Linux image, okay, and VM Linux image with some version actually, one dot something, and one is a init RD image, init RD image. So these are the two files actually which will be loaded into the memory, which will be loaded into the memory. So where do you find this two loaded into the memory? So where do you find these two files, guys? We load into the memory, and we will find these two files under the /boot folder or directory. So slash boot is a directory. We'll discuss later about the directory and all, what are directories and all. But /boot is a directory where under which VM Linux image as well as init image. These two files exist under this /boot. Also under the /boot directory, grub bootloader also exists. Okay. Fine, guys. So these are the two files or the VM Linux image. I will not give any not give any version, but you just understand that there will be some version VM Linux hyphen something with the kernel version like VM Linux 6.7 something or 6.6 something, which will be that file. That is a compressed image. Along with that, initRD is for the root file system. We call it an RFS, root file system. These two files will get loaded into the memory or loaded into the RAM memory. Now, as I said, right, during the boot process only, what happened, right? This RAM memory will divide into two spaces actually. It gets divided into two spaces, user space and kernel space. I think we have discussed this in the last session itself, right? So in short, I'll write user space user space, and this is the kernel space, KS. Or you can even call it as a user mode, kernel mode, anything. Right? So now what happened, right? So this is the kernel space, guys. So here what happened, right? Your VM Linux image, that image file will be loaded here actually. That's the file which you loaded. From where this file exists, guys? This file exists under the slash boot partition. Similarly, what happened, like your initRD image will be loaded into the kernel, sorry, user space of your RAM memory. Here your initRD image will be loaded. Now what happened, right? As part of the boot process, what your grub bootloader will do, that grub bootloader will extract or it will expand this compressed image. Expand means whatever the compressed image is there, that will be uncompressed actually. This is the compressed image. When it is uncompressed, when it is getting uncompressed, at that time only what happened, that you will get a kernel like this. You will get a kernel like this. You get a kernel. So this kernel is a full-fledged operating system. This is the kernel you are going to get. Sorry, is a kernel, or we can call it as an operating system, right? And this initRD image, guys, this initRD image, it will be, it would be, it will be extracted, and you will get the root file system. You will get a RFS, root file system, basically. So it means that as soon as this file initRD will get expanded, right, you will get a root file system. And Linux actually root file system is always in an inverted tree structure. Like here what happened, the slash will come. It means that the file system will start with a slash, and below the file system like this, you have so many directory structures are there like this. We will discuss all those things later, guys, like this. Like that, you'll get something like etc folder is there, etc directory, you're going to get it, and then you're going to get the USR directory, then we will get the var directory. Like that, there are so many directories are there. This. So if I want to tell you where will be there, where will be there, afterwards etc where will be, sorry, slash where will be there, and what else other guys, you have a home directory, you have a root directory, you have a sys directory, you have a temp directory, you have a mnt directory, and you have a where is already written, we have a lib directory, we have a root directory, right? We have a home directory is there. What else other things? Yeah, there are many are there, but yeah, we have something like a bin directory. So like that, what happened, right? So many are there actually. So bin is there. What happened? OPT. Yeah, OPT, yes. What happened, man? So what I'm trying to say that this is your root file system, guys. OPT directory. Something has happened. Okay, it's not writing.
అరే మీటింగ్ లో ఉన్నారా
Okay. Okay. So you have guys, please mute, guys, please. I would request always that you always mute it. Yeah. Thank you. So this is your root file system, guys, where what happened, this root file system will get expanded, and your kernel will also get expanded. VM Linux image will get expanded, and you will get the kernel actually. So this is what the process happens, right? And this is what we call the boot process actually. And after this, what happened, right? There are a lot of configuration files are executed actually you to get a login prompt. Like for example, there are some there are some files are there which are getting executed. Guys, what happened? Actually, I'm not able to write it only. Something has happened. Uh, Okay, no problem. I'll write it down here in the notes. So what happened, right? After these files are getting expanded, sorry, the root file system getting expanded, and the kernel will get expanded. After that, what happened? There are some important configuration files are getting executed actually. Important configuration files. Like for example, like under the etc, don't worry now, under the etc, okay, we have something like fs tab that will get called actually. Under etc there is something like a init.d directory. Under that there are some files are there, all those files will get executed. Under etc there will be something like rc.sysinit file will be there, that will get called, right? Under is etc mount is there, that is getting called. Okay, under etc uh, what is a profile is a file which will get called. etc what I call bash rc will get called. etc init rc will get called. So there are so many configuration files are there, guys, which will get called actually. So now what happened as part of this process, what happened, right? When you are running all these things, when you are executing all these things, okay, so what happened, right? The first process which gets created in Linux or in Unix is init process actually. Init is a process which will get created, and that init process is a first process, guys. Later on, what are the other process which will get created? That will be under init itself. Init is always the first process will get created, and always the init process PID is always what is it? It is 1. So PID of init process is always 1 actually. So guys, what is this init? What is this PID? PID means process ID, or we call it a process identification number. We say every process in Linux will have a PID. So that is like an identifier. So whenever we create any process in the machine or in the operating system, always the operating system or the kernel is going to assign a unique number to each and every process, and that is nothing but the PID. So every process, guys, every process in Linux will have a PID. Will have a PID, and the name actually, and the and the process name always. And this PID will always be unique. You cannot say that, Rajesh, you have two processes with the same PID. No, it will not allow. It will always give unique ID for each and every process, right? And every process will have a name. Either you give the name, or else by default it will pick the name, right? So anything is possible. So what I'm saying that every process will have a name and a number, and that number is not but PID. And for the init process, it is always the PID is always 1, because it's a first process which got created in Linux machine after the boot up. Once the boot completes, the first process will get created is a init process actually. Again, who will create any process? Right, definitely you are the like what happened during boot process, right? So many steps will get executed, right? Boot process, in the first BIOS will take care, and then like bootloader and set up what is it? Setup underscore 32, start underscore kernel. The last phase of the boot process, which will actually create a first process, and they call it as an init process actually. In some interview, they might ask you like before the init process, is there any other process will get created before init process? Does really is there any other process creates any other process would be created? You have to say yes. So what are those process? One is a swapper process, and other is a what is a dispatcher process. Dispatcher. So this two process will get created, guys, at the very beginning. After this, what happened? These two process together will create the process which we call the init process. So swapper and dispatcher in turn will create the init process. And always the init process has a PID known as a 1. PID is 1. Process identification number is 1. It means that he is a parent of all the processes. He is the first most process got created. Okay. Zero process ID, you might ask, Raj, what about the zero process ID? Zero process ID is not given to anyone, guys. The swapper and dispatcher, they say that it had a PID 1, a PID 0 because they were working together. That's what one single process ID was allocated for both. But during the execution of all those configuration files and all, right, what the swapper and dispatcher will do, they will try to create the init process actually. And they'll make that init process to run in some run level. In some run level. What is this run level? I will come across very shortly, not now, but just try to understand that after this swapper and dispatcher will get created, they're getting exited. I mean that they are getting terminated. What they do that they'll try to create init process and then they'll exit out from the system. So init process will always be there up and running in a system. It will be running as a daemon process in the backend. You have to say. It will be running as a daemon process in the backend. Mean that those processes which never get killed, right? Those we call as a init process actually. That's how in a simple term I'm saying. Later I will change the definition about what is like what is a daemon process. But right now you understand that it is something like where that process will always be running, right? The process doesn't have anything any of the other features attached. Hence we call it a daemon process actually. So in it, they say that it is a daemon process actually. It's a daemon process. Am I clear, sir? What is this daemon process about? Everything again we will discuss in some time, not now. So what we understood that Rajesh, there are some configuration files are there as part of the boot process. Even these configuration files were getting executed. Post one this getting executed, then only what happened, right? This init process will get created. And init is the first process in Linux actually, and it has a PID 1 here. You have to say like that way. Rest all other processes which are created in the system, all are under init only. Init will be the grandfather for everyone. If init itself will get killed in your system, the system will never exist. The system will also will go down. So init process should always be there up and running so that it signifies, it say that your system is all up and running. If assume that init process is not running, it's not running, even all the processes which are running system, even they all will get killed automatically. Because init itself is not there, how you can run the other processes, right? So init should be there, sir, actually. Now in Windows, like in Linux, I will show you the command, but I have to create an instance now. In some time I will create. But in Windows, if you go here and if you do a right click and if you go to the task manager, can you see this is like a process tree which is running in your system. And I could see that for every process, it is showing like how much is a CPU, how much is a RAM memory, and how much is nothing but your disk network. All those things it's going to show you here. So here like this actually. Right? So this is nothing but the graphical way. I think we have they have removed it. Otherwise, it had shown actually how much is a uh, how much it is taking and what is the period and all should have shown actually. Yeah, CPU time and all is there. One more was there, man. Where is it actually? Here it was showing you the PAD also. Okay, guys, I think I'm not able to recall now. I will see it and I will let you know later. But it will show you one column as a PID, process identification number. Now, fine, good. Now, so once this init process will get created, then only you can understand that the division of the division happen. I mean, so then only what happened, right? You will get a shell actually. So when you are actually creating init process at the same duration, what happened here, guys? You are getting one shell actually like this. You're getting a shell. I think, guys, I'm not able to draw it. So I will go to the other paint. After init process is created, okay, many other processes also gets created actually. So many other processes, guys. Like for example, the K-thread process or else swapper process, swapper D processes, many of the system level processes will get created. Those are all mandatory thing. It's not like that only one init process will be there. There are hundreds of processes will get created after that. So your init process has to take care of everyone, right? So that's the reason what happened. Init process will be running in a backend as a daemon process only. It will never get killed. It will never get killed actually. Am I clear, sir, till here? Okay. So now, so as part of execution of all those important configuration files, you're going to get a shell, and that shell is a bash shell. That shell is a bash shell, and bash is a default shell in the Linux actually. Bash is an interface between the user and the or between the user and the kernel, right? So bash is a shell which gets created, and bash is an interface between user and the kernel. Yeah, but between the kernel and the hardware, what do you have, guys? Between kernel and the hardware, you have something known as a HAL, right? Hardware abstraction layer, right? Hardware abstraction, right? So hardware abstraction layer is between the kernel and the hardware actually. Am I clear, sir? Okay, good. Now, so let me open one more diagram so that
That is
so here is come again.
that is kernel in between.
Hmm.
It is operating system and hardware.
Yeah, that's what I said. Operating system only. But again, what happened? It is not only operating system. It has that HL also, that firmware also, which we call the hardware abstraction layer. Both will be there as part of the operating system or the kernel. Both, both have to be there. But 90 to 95% of the code is nothing but your actual operating system code. Rest remaining 5% will be your assembly language instruction, which we call that as an HL, hardware abstraction layer. Is it fine, sir? Any question?
Yes, yes. Fine.
Okay, so shell is an interface actually, right? And shell is also called as an interpreter. We call, sorry, shell we call it as an interpreter also. Bash shell is also called as interpreter, and bash is the default shell or the first or the default shell. So what the bash basically does is bash is going to create an environment for the execution actually. Like whenever a user executes any command or he executes any file or he runs any program or he want to do any kind of a communication from your machine to other machine. So the kernel will do all those operations or the operating system will do all those operations, right? So on behalf of it, who actually does it everything? Your shell does everything. Shell will create an environment for execution of your application or a program or a command. So shell, your bash will create the environment to, it will create an environment to execute any shell command or a program or the program. Right? Without the shell, your operating system or it cannot you cannot do any operation at all. Shell has to be there. Without the shell, your all your commands or whatever might be, you cannot actually do the communication. Shell has to be there. So with the help of a shell only, what happened, right? Your operating system will do some perform some action actually. Like for example, if you are communicating with any device, right? Right, your operating you cannot directly communicate with actually. You have to first communicate with your shell, and that shell is going to communicate with your hardware, and that shell will know, right, which command is executing, what is the history behind the command, what are the users who is executing, everything will note it down actually. Okay, so there are many features of the shell are there. Again, it is a later stage of part of session which I'll be taking, but we will discuss more on shell also, guys. Right now this much is sufficient, that shell is an interface between the user and the kernel. Now some question might come in your mind that okay, sir, what is shell made up of? Okay, and why we exactly need the shell. So as I said earlier, guys, without the shell, your user cannot execute any task. He cannot do any kind of a operation. Shell has to be there. Shell is an interface between the user and the kernel. Like that, you have to say first, right? So shell is going to create an environment for the execution of any command or a program. This is the second point you have to say, right? So let me write down. Shell will create the environment to execute. Shell will create an environment to execute the command or the program. So without the shell, the user cannot directly communicate. Directly communicate with any hardware, any of the hardware. Right? And bash is a default shell. Am I clear, sir? Okay, good. Now, guys. So, okay, till now we have been only discussing the theoretical part only. We have never understood about what is exactly how to configure and everything, right? We will come across very soon now. But some of the people, as I said earlier, they might get a doubt. Okay, we got to know that shell is an interface. So when the shell will come, actually when the shell will come. So as soon as all these configuration files, guys, are getting executed, as part of the execution of these configuration files. Some of the configuration files, which I have missed it today, I have missed to write more. Some of the configuration files, what happened, right? They will penetrate into the system settings or system run level files, and then they'll try to run those files. Actually, they're going to execute those files. As part of that, only what happened, right? You're going to get a shell, right? So how the shell comes is there are some certain execution programs are there which are getting executed. So as part of that, what happened? The shell will get created. And shell itself is a process only at the end. And itself is a daemon process only. Shell. Is it fine, guys? Till here? I hope that you are understanding something. Okay. Now, guys. Now, so far, so good. Everything working very well. Okay. You have a kernel, like when you try to have an operating system, right? Like in the operating system, we know that we have a kernel, and once the kernel comes up, shell will also get created, right? And what happened, guys? Your whole entire process, whatever the process which are running in your system, right? Those all are created by the kernel only. Kernel is the one, or the operating system. Kernel is the one who creates all processes. Even the init process what got created, it's kernel only. At the end, it's kernel it has created. Any user's process which is running, without the help of the kernel, we cannot create a kernel, because kernel is a main core of the operating system. And within the kernel, you have process management. And that process management is the one which is going to create the process actually. Is it fine, guys? Okay, good. Now, guys, kernel has a lot of features and there are different types of kernels available in the market. Okay, we need not to really worry much about it, but I'll just note it down types of kernel, because sometime, rarely, they might ask, but we need not to really worry much. If you are remembering something about this, what we discuss, you can tell in the interview. Otherwise, it's not mandatory. It's not like that for every question you have to answer, right? So similarly, what happened, right? It is not mandatory that you should know everything, right? With very few commands or very few knowledge, also people are working in the industry. It's not like that you have to become very good. Over the period of time, you'll get good actually. You'll become perfect in Linux actually. Till that time, what happened? You have to just try. Update yourself, like practice it more. Then only you'll get expertise. Okay. So what are the different types of kernels we have? Guys, I will not go in detail about this. I'll just try to write it. Monolithic kernel is there, which even do exist today also. Some of the people are using in our uh, the Linux, all your Linux, Unix and all are monolithic kernel only. Okay. Then we have a microkernel. We have a nano kernel, and we have something like a picokernel. So these are the types of uh, not sorry, Exokernel, not sorry. I think I did a mistake here. There are many are there, but I'm just listing some four, three, four only. Exokernel. These are the kernel types we have, guys, actually. And again, at this point of time, we need not to really worry about all these things. Okay, let us try to concentrate only on Linux only, actually. But Linux, it is all coming in Linux only. That's what right. We have to discuss all these things. But whatever it is, majorly I will discuss. Other things and all, I will just theoretically tell and go. So that later, if you refer it, you will get to learn many things. Right. So there were different types of kernels which are running in a not sorry, different types of Linux operating system which were running onto the different we can say that what I was saying is sorry, what I was saying, trying to say, yeah, there are different types of kernels are there, but all these different types of kernels, they work in a different platform. Like for example, Monolithic Kernel is there. Your Linux is a Monolithic kernel. Whichever kernel which I'm running now, right? It's a Monolithic kernel only, right? They have not changed actually, right? Microkernel is something like it is, suppose if you're working on some embedded systems, right? There we use a lot of microkernel. Nanokernel is also one of the important kernel which we use for building up AI application or nanotechnology, right? They use this nanokernel actually. And exokernel is something where it's a general purpose, multi-purpose kernel which they use it actually. And they say it's a combination of Monolithic and micro. That's what. So whatever the best features are there in Monolithic and micro, right? These two kernels, they added it and they called it as a microkernel. So it is still under the phase where the complete full-fledged has not been released into the market. You will see in couple of years, you will see this exokernel being available actually, open source. We can download, it can work. But what they're saying is it has both the features. It has both the features like uh, vertical kernel features, microkernel features, both are there in that. Okay. Now in Linux also, for example, all your Linux kernel or even your Windows 95, very old one, all Linux flavor, it's all microkernel guys. Plus, what I say, uh, your Windows 95 is a typical. That is one example in Windows family. Windows 95 is also a vertical kernel. Microkernel all are embedded kernel actually. Embedded system is all your real-time RT Linux, right? You have RT Linux, a real-time operating system Linux. So that is part of your microkernel. Plus all your embedded C coding, all are embedded means those are written in embedded C. That's what coded OS are all microkernels. Okay, fine guys, all are microkernel. Nanokernel, as I said, right, it is used for some specific purpose, and it also used by the nanotechnology. Exokernel, it is also been verified, tested now, but not released in the market. It has a combination of both these features, molecular kernel, microkernel, whatever the features you have in one exokernel, you'll get all those features. And plus, as I said, right, this exokernel is basically an embedded based operating system, right? I mean, sorry, not embedded, but it is used for some specific task only. They use it for specific task because it has a features of both molecular and micro, right? That's what they want to utilize this exokernel in some specific projects. Actually, I heard that they are using for some human artificial intelligence and everything, right? They are using this exokernel there. Actually, I just read it, but I'm not sure. Actually, if we go through the Wikipedia, I think you'll get much more information on exokernel. Of course, apart from this, there are many other kernels are there, guys, which I'm not discussing, but uh, these are the majorly four category of kernel which is available, right? But we are interested more in Motica kernel because our Linux or to some extent and also our Windows, everything is a microkernel, sorry, everything is a Motica kernel, right? So we'll be discussing only related to the Motica kernel itself. Okay, and Linux is one of the example, right? Okay, guys. So that's all about the kernel. So I hope that you understood something. So you understood, you came across with something was a shell, something about HAL. something about the boot process, some few pieces of information you learned it today. Okay, good. Now, guys, as I said earlier also many times that your Linux is a command based. It's a command based terminal based operating system. It means that as soon as you log into the system, you need to provide some credentials actually. It means that you have to give some username and password, right? So you have already been set. Suppose you have created your own virtual machine, or you have your own virtual machine installed in your own laptop, right? So what happened, right? As part of the creation of part of installation, right? What happened at certain time, it'll at certain place, what happened, it'll ask you for the root password. So of linux during installation of linux, the installer will ask you for providing root password. So, right, root password. So as soon as you get the root password, it means that what happened, guys, you will be able to log into that system. If you disable it, everything, it means that Rajesh have not given anything, then you cannot log into the system. With what user you log in then? If you don't have any user at all, you cannot log in it, right? There has to be some user, right? Right? So that's the reason what happened, right? During installation, what happened, right? While installing it, it will try to uh, ask you for the default root password. You need to give it actually. Once you give the root password details, then automatically what happens, the installation will continue, and finally you'll get one email saying that this is a username and password which was created for you, like that, right? And with that user and password, you can log into the machine actually. Is it fine, guys? Okay, good. Now, as I said, like Linux is a command based, guys. You have to learn all the commands. So what we'll do, we'll launch an instance now. We'll keep that instance because in our upcoming sessions, everything we will be using that Linux kernel, Linux operating system, and we will be doing all our lab access in the same server actually. So I have already requested all of you that by this time you should have already have your AWS account created, right? And you should have little bit practiced on how to create an instance, how to create a virtual machine, and how to set up all the rules, and then like how to be ready so that if you want to practice, right, you can just show it actually, right? You can just use it. Sorry, you can use that operating system. Okay. Fine, guys. So now what we'll do, let us log in. So Rajiv, I think we already created the account for you. You have it, right? So please use that account. Yeah, system security. Right, right, right. Correct. What is it is Karthik is right. Systemctl config, ETS systemctl. Yes, yes. These are configuration files. Limits.conf. Yeah, good. So, so guys, what you have to do that you have to first create an account. If you don't have till, I would please request you to go and create it by today or by tomorrow. At least by this weekend, it should be ready. It should be available so that you will start practicing it. Okay. Now, so I've already created one account, guys, with which I'm logging in. Okay. So what I will do here, I will log into it. So first you have to do a console.aws.amazon.com. So this is what you have to type it, or else you have to just say in the Google, just say AWS console, like that. If you say that, you'll get it right. Now here you could see that, guys, it is as soon as I log into this URL, you could see that it is going to the sign in page where it is asking you to be root user. So root user is something with which actually we created the AWS account. So I gave my email ID to create a account, right? That's what. So let me give my username, that is Rajesh DevOps batch 02 at gmail.com. This is my username, and I'll say next. It'll ask me for the password. Let me give the password, and it is asking for the MFA code. Already installed MFA, guys. So in my laptop, in my mobile, I have installed the, what is it? Where is it, man? Uh, Yeah, Microsoft Authenticator. I already added this MFA authentication from my. So it is asking MFA code. Let me give the MFA code 74476 759. Yeah, let me log in it. Okay, so I've logged in, guys. So I can go to any region and I can work on it here. So here I'm in Northern Virginia. You can even sit and here also can work because this is a very good region, guys. You will get a lot of features of AWS features or AWS service features if you are in Northern Virginia. Okay, but most of the people who are in India, right, they don't go with that. They'll go with the Mumbai region only. So you can even go with the Mumbai region. So let me click on the Mumbai region so that I'm in the Mumbai region. Right. So here what happened, guys, whenever you want to launch the instance or whenever you want to create the machine, what you have to do that under the compute category, you have to go and you have to just go and you have to create it. So if you click on this this button, right, it will go and you could see that there are all services. Click on all services, view all services. And here you could see that under the compute, you have something as EC2. This is a service. So I have to create a virtual machine or the server with the help of this service, as a EC2. Or else what you can do that, you can go back to the console home. Already it is there. You can directly click here or you can even search here EC2. Like this, if you search, right, you will get this EC2. Just click on that actually. So when you click on it, you will see that you will get into this page actually. So here what happened, you have instance type and everything, right? You can just go here, you can click on it onto anywhere, and then we have got the page, guys, where you will start to go and creating the virtual machine. So let me create a virtual machine. So what I will do that, I already created a first virtual machine, but again I'm showing you that let me create a Ubuntu version 22.04 or 24 version, whatever the version which is available, I will take that. Okay, I will go with the free trial eligible because I need to select the virtual machine also, machine with some default configuration I want to check. I want to take it. That's what I will be going with the free version. And also I will be using the AMI image also, which is free. Because I'm using Linux actually, Ubuntu Linux, I'll be using an AMID uh, of your machine, of your Linux only, right? That means that I will go and I will try to use the use the Ubuntu image only, whatever the Ubuntu image available, right? Okay, guys. So what I will do, I'll go here and I know that many of you already know all these things, but I'm just showing you. So launch instances, quickly we'll go through it. If suppose somebody is feeling a difficulty, guys, let me know. I will make it slow or I'll repeat it again. But most of them, they have already seen it. That's what I'm saying, that if you refer to my previous class, you will see all the steps what I've did. So here what happened, you have to give some name. So I'll give something like Linux practicing. For Linux practicing, I'm creating a server. Linux practicing is the name you are giving. So I'll choose the Ubuntu. Here, guys, in the after creating Ubuntu, you could see that AMI, it's an image. You have to take which image. So I'll go with the latest image only, right? 24.04 LTS HVM. Why I have to go with a higher one? Let it be as it is. Okay. After that, what happened, right? Instance type also you have to take a free trial eligible, otherwise it will start charging you. Don't take any other thing apart from free trial eligible. There are some tasks are there when you are working, you have to pay some money, that we'll see it later why you have to pay that money and all. But right now what you have to understand that okay, whatever I practice, everything is free. I will not, my billing will not go more than 500 rupees in the entire course. Like that you have to think. How much are you practice, you will not get the bill actually much. Okay, but you have to efficiently utilize it. That's what I'm saying, that because all the all the uh, cloud providers, right, what they've done, right, they've changed in the policies, they've changed even the membership. They are not giving for 1 year free trial eligible. Now they have started giving only for 6 months. So that is one burden, guys. So that's the reason what happened, right? You have to efficiently use your account. Plus, you have to practice everything very well in the first 2 3 months only. You have to become a little bit good at all those things. So for that, what happened? You have to spend more and more time in studies, everything. You have to practice like that. Okay, coming back here. Okay, these are things which I've did. This and all is okay. X84 and all. This and all okay. Don't touch anything. And if you come down here, key pair is there. So I have to create a key pair. So in the last class, if I remember, I had created the Rajiv spam key. It's already there. I can even utilize this also. Or else I can use the existing one also. I can create an existing one also. Whichever way you say, we'll do it. If you want to use the Rajiv.pem, we'll go with that only. No problem. If you want to create, you have to just say create new key actually. With that. So what we can do, guys, okay, if you don't want to create, I will use the existing one. Let me use the same raju.pem file. So where it is there in the download folder. Can you see here? If you go to the download folder. So guys, can you see raju.pem file is this file is already created and it is there here in the under the download only. That's what I'm not creating a new one. It's already there. So let us go with this file only. Uh, what happened, man? What's the name I given? Raju. It was working now. This it was RJE, right? It is Raju. It is shown. Okay. Guys, what has happened? One second. I'll go here. I'll go to instances. Let me check it out. What I have. If you come over here, can you see key pairs? Yeah, it is Raji only. But here, Raji.pem. Is there? Do you have any other file? No. I didn't even delete it. Also, it is the okay. Or else, I think let me go to the Northern Virginia. Or else, let me check. I'm just checking out, guys. Yeah, if we go to Northern Virginia, somewhere I might have created it. That's what. Right. If I go here, key pair, it is not there. I think somewhere guys. Okay, I don't think I'll create a fresh one. Let me remove this. Right, okay. I'll go here, I'll go to this tab, and here what happened, I'll create a new key. So for the new key, what I will do that I will give something like a batch2 something. Batch2.pem file will get created. Let this key pair will be RSA, let the file will be .pem only, and then just go and create it. So as part of the creation, you could see that once it creates, you could see that batch2.pem file will get created. If you go to the pem, if you go to a download directory, okay, then you can see that it has created a file batch2.pem. This is the file I needed actually. So this already it's there now. Okay, so now what I'm doing, guys, come here in the networking. You can leave it as it is, or else if you want to do some settings, you can go and edit it. Here what happened, it is a default VPS, it is taking subnet. If you're giving no preference, it will take by default some subnet. So if I say Rajesh, I'll go with the uh, availability zone of APF and South of 1. It is a first subnet. So I'll select with this. Come here, auto assign, enable public IP, yes. And then you will go with the select the existing security groups. So if I go here, I think my first SG is a security which I already created. Let me choose this. And if you come down, there is no other thing which you need to configure. That's all. Some 3-4 points only you have to, somewhere some 3 or 2 to 3 place only you have to go and edit it. Otherwise, everything is same. And I will go and I'll just launch the instance. So guys, here you could see that I'm launching only one instance. That's all. I'm not launching multiple instances. Okay, good. So let me come down here and let me go with the view instances. And you could see that this first server which we launched, and I give the name as Linux practicing, right? You can give any other good name, guys. I'm just giving Linux practicing. That's what I created this server. So this is the T3 micro server, and this is the Ubuntu 20.04, which will be there. It will be up and running. Okay, fine. Now it has come up. Okay, what I will do that I will go and I'll click on it and I need a public IP. So how do you do that, guys? You have to click on that instance. Okay, under details, there is something like a public IP address there. So here you could say this is a public IP. So I have to copy this public IP. Copy the public IP and you have to log into that machine. Since you have a username and the key, you can log in into the system with the help of a username and key also. So the key is batch2.pem, right? That is a key. Right, guys? That's a key. And you have to log in with some username. How do you know that which is the default username with which I have to log in into that machine? So what you can do again, you can click on it and you can just say connect. Yeah. Now you could see that the default username is Ubuntu only it is showing. Is it fine, guys? Till here, right? Okay. So now I got the username and I got the public IP. Let me log in it. For that to log in, there are multiple ways are there, like how to log in into the machine, how to log in into Linux machine. So Linux machine means here I'm using Ubuntu, guys. How to log in it? First, what happened, guys? You in Windows machine, by default, you have terminal. If not, if there it is not, then install it. Through your uh, through your Windows Software Manager, go and install your Windows. Sorry, go and install your terminal. And the terminal is nothing but it's a what I can say, it is a PowerShell terminal actually. You'll get a PowerShell. So go and install that terminal actually. Right? In my case, it is already there. Could you see that? If I go and type it like this, TRMINL terminal, can you see this terminal has come? So I can do a right click and run as an administrator, and then just say yes. You could see that these are plus. So this is what you have a Windows PowerShell terminal, guys. This is a PowerShell terminal. So this is the latest one, guys, and most of the people are working this terminal because it will exactly give like a feeling like you're working on Linux. And all most of the commands which is there in the Linux, it supports here also. So what they're doing is through your PowerShell terminal only what happened, you can able to log into the Linux machine actually. And to log in it, what happened, right? You need a username. So to log in, you need username and the key and the PIM key. And how to log in it? You have to use SSH-I, give that PIM file, batch2.pem file, and then give the username that is Ubuntu @ give the public IP. This is a simple process, guys. That's all. Am I clear, sir? Yeah, Krishna Sai, we will see Git bash and all. We will see. Don't worry, mobile extra and all. We will see all those things. Okay, mobile extra, Visual Studio Code, like super putty or putty. There are so many ways are there. We'll see all those things. So this is one way through terminal only. Or else what happened, right? You can install, or you can do that. You can install some other uh, editors like Visual Studio Code editor. Okay, you can install that also, or else you can install the putty. You can install the super putty. You can install the mobile extra. Anything can install, guys. Through that also can log into the machine. Not with Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code is not used for logging in, but I've just written because we need that, but it is not really used for logging in. Sorry. You can just see that putty is the one software is there. Super putty is also extension of the putty only. Mobile exterm is there. Okay, there are many other like third-party softwares are there, guys, through which you can log in it. But right now, this is the command I have it. So now what I will do, I'll go here. Let me first go to the downloads folder. I'll say cd downloads because I have my batch2.pem file here only. Then I will give ssh command with -i batch2.pem file space Ubuntu. Yeah, that's the username @ give the public IP address of this machine. Copy this public IP and paste it here and say enter. So it'll generate the fingerprint. That's what it's saying. You will say yes. And then you could see that it is permanently adding it, and you could see that it has logged into that machine. So this is how you have to log in into the machine actually. Is it fine, guys? Now, so whatever we got this, guys, whatever we got this is something like we call as a virtual terminal, or I will just say terminal, or sometimes we even call it as a shell prompt. So this is something like a shell prompt where you could see that it's blinking. It's saying that, okay, whenever you want to do any operation, you can just execute some commands, right? If I want to clear the screen, I'll just say CLER, clear the screen and say enter, it'll clear the screen. Is it fine? Okay.
Sir, 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 sir.
So can you show the command one more time, like how you log into that?
Yeah. Now I'll exit out. Exit means you are coming out from the server actually, or from that virtual machine, right? When I say
Yeah,
exit, you're
I'm
coming.
actually trying to like do
Yeah,
exactly.
this is the command. SSH-i with the file batch.pem ubuntu at the rate. Let me copy this command and let me paste it here so that you will get a reference.
Rajesh sir, can we do like SSH username at the rate IP
Hmm.
address?
Yeah, but the problem is that when you view a SSH username and the IP address, then it will prompt for the password. We don't have a password here. We have the key here.
Okay, okay,
So for the key, you to give key, you have to add a -a option.
okay.
That's all. Simple. So why it is so, guys? Because that in case of your AWS, what they did by default, AWS has disabled the password. Password. Disable the password means what they did means while creating machine itself, while creating the machine or the virtual machine, they have disabled the password. So you have to create the servers or virtual machine only with the .pim key only. So that's how why they are doing like this, because to keep it very highly secure and to make sure that no passwords are not being really used. That's the reason what happened. They have disabled it. Whereas Azure, what happened, right? What Azure did, guys, Azure will provide both the way while creating a virtual machine. When you are creating virtual machine, creating VM in Azure cloud, it will give both the options. It will provide both the options. What is that option, guys? It means that it will ask you the username and password, and also if you don't want the password, you can even give username and the key. So you can either log in with the username or password with which you created in Azure, or else if you have created a key, it will try to ask you for username. Anyone is best, but most in the organization, they always use username and the key. Even if you go to the organization, some other organization work as a DevOps engineer, right? When you log into any server, right, you will not be given any password at all. They don't know password only, but they'll give the key. They'll configure everything so that you can log into that Linux machine. So in that case, what happened, guys? You will be directly logging into some username, default username in that machine with the help of a key actually. Am I clear, sir? So now we are logged in. Already we are logged in now here. Yeah.
Sir, I tried to log in. I sent you a picture. So I don't know why it's not working.
Uh, Permission denied.
Maybe, but I'm actually this is my
Not
work
no,
PC.
no. You wherever you download that practice.pem, no, that is not there in the download folder only, man. It is downloaded into some other folder. That's what you could see that identifying file slash practice. No, it is not slash actually. If you see here very carefully, see what I'm doing, see here. SSH-i. Okay, BAC. If I say BATE and if I use tab, no, see it'll do autocomplete like this. In your case, if I see your screenshot, see if I can you able to see the screen? You are given a
Yeah.
double quote. It is not why you are giving double quote and all. No, have I given double quote here?
Ah.
SSH-i PRAC and give tab. It will complete it. Can you try out immediately now?
Okay, so just
No, first you check is that practice.pem is there in a download folder or not.
yeah, it's in the download.
Yeah, SSH-i PRAC give tab and then give Ubuntu and provide the IP address of the server. What is the IP address? It should be a public IP, not private. Public IP.
Yeah, but sir, I'm doing it with the tab, but it's not taking it like that.
It
I'm
is not
doing
taking.
SSH-I space.
Have you opened the terminal or not? I think you have opened only the shell, PowerShell prompt you open. You have to open the terminal, TRMINL. It is not, if it is not there, install it. I think, see, even you can open with the PowerShell also. Suppose if I go here, if I type PowerShell, can you see here, guys? Windows PowerShell, you're getting. You can even open right click, run as an administrator. So this is what, here also you can do it, but I won't recommend to you to work on here. Okay, because many of the features are not there here in PowerShell as well as the command mode. Always people have long back turned into terminal only. They all are working on a terminal because you will get all the features, what are the Linux has, right? Same similar kind of features you will get in PowerShell terminal actually. So this is the latest one which in Windows people are using from long time. Say for example, from last 4 years or 5 years they've been using. Before that they were using PowerShell, or before PowerShell they were using something like a command line mode, command mode actually. Latest is terminals are, all of you have to install the terminal if it is not there in Windows, and then like start practicing it. So guys, I hope that you understood it. Okay guys. Now to clear the screen, I will run execute command clear. Clear, clear. That's a command to clear the screen actually. Now what I said earlier, that as soon as you log in, this is nothing but you call it as a command prompt. Some people call it as a command prompt. Some people call it as shell prompt. Some people will call as the terminal, or some people call it as a virtual terminal. All are, most of them are one of the same. The naming conventions is different, but the meaning is same. It means that it is just like a terminal. In short, you call it as a terminal only. Am I clear, sir? So this is the one way we are logged in it, and or else what I said, that you have to install some third-party software like Putty or Super Putty. Some people call it as a Putty. They call it as a Putty, Super Putty. We call it as a Putty or Super Putty, whatever. Mobile Exterm is there, and many other editors are there, or many other third-party softwares are there. Through that you can able to install, and you can even log in it actually. Okay, so here what happened, guys, in my system, if you see it actually, I have two important, two important files which are downloaded. One is a putty.exe and other is a puttygen.exe. So I would recommend both of, I recommend both of these things has to be downloaded in your system. Putty.exe and puttygen.exe. So where you'll get actually, if you go to the net and if you just say putty download, that's all. Okay, you'll get it. And if you see it, putty download, if you go to the first link only, guys, if you open it, can you see here? If you come down, can you see here putty.exe is there? Always try to download the x86 only, or 64-bit. So you have to go and you have to click on it, you'll get download. Along with this, can you see here something like a puttygen? Where is it? This is the putty.exe. Where is the puttygen? Come down, can you see puttygen.exe and 64-bit x86? I would say. So suppose if you go and download like this, suppose you have to go and download like this. You have to just right click and download. I click and download. Already I have it, right? That's the reason it will overwrite it. I don't want to overwrite it. If you click on it, it will start downloading into, and it will be there in your downloads folder. Or else what you can do, you can copy paste both the things. Try to download first and copy paste everything into the desktop only. If you don't want to go here and there, just copy it here only, it will work. So these two files should be there. Later I will show you about the mobile exterm, super putty, all such things I'll be showing in our upcoming session, how to install it, how to log in it. It's pretty simple, guys. It's not that difficult. So since in our case, what I have did, right, guys, I have logged into that server by with the help of Windows terminal only. Am I clear? So for some days you practice with the Windows terminal only. Later you can go and you can install that putty and puttygen.exe, and then you can practice in the other method. Some other day you can practice installing the mobile exterm and logging in. It is fine. It's left to you how you are comfortable with that tool, right? You can choose by your own actually. I'm more comfortable with the terminal. That's what I work on terminal only, right? So guys, this is a shell prompt. Okay, this is the shell actually, shell prompt, and we have logged into the shell, and this is nothing but your bash shell. How to check which shell you're working? You have to just say echo dollar capital SHELL and say enter. Can you see there's an output on just /bin/bash? It means that right now you are working under the bash shell. So let me do one thing. Let me copy this, the entire two lines, and then let me paste it here so that you will get to know. So this is the output. So you have to, whenever you want to check on which shell you're working, you have to just execute a command of the echo space $shell. So what is this shell capital? We call this as a shell variable. So what is shell variable? Don't worry, we will discuss it later. Okay, what is this dollar Rajesh and what is this echo? Yeah, we will all discuss these things later. Don't worry. Echo is something like it will try to print it. Like for example, if you go to the terminal, if I say echo is going to throw the string, whatever you have given. Okay, good morning, everyone. Something. If I type something, it will try to print the same thing what I am giving as an input here, like this. So echo, what it does basically, guys, whatever the inputs you give, it's going to throw the same input actually. It's going to show that it's going to throw the same string what you have given as a part of your echo command actually. So we use a lot in lot of places. We use this echo a lot. Even today also we use it. Every time we use a lot of echoes actually because we want to see the flow of the program or execution. Right? We'll insert this echo everywhere wherever it is applicable just to check that okay where the flow is going actually. Because as part of execution of that part, right? So what this command will do, it will try to throw the output of whatever it got it actually. Am I clear, sir? Okay, guys, good. So now one question might ask, you might come across, okay, Rajesh, today I practiced it. Okay, fine. What to do? Should I keep this running? So guys, don't keep this machine running always because it will try to charge you a lot actually, right? Because it will kill all your, it will take up all your free available hours actually, which they were given, and unnecessary what happened, right? You will start paying some bills in after some time, right? Because that you have exhausted all the free trial eligibility. Hence, I would recommend that whenever you practice it on that day, suppose you launched a new instance and you practice for 2-3 hours, right? I would recommend that you go and terminate that virtual machine. You don't keep it in because next day tomorrow again you launch it, again you create it. It is a pretty simple process. Okay, that's the reason I would recommend not to keep any machines up and running, or even don't keep even in a stop state also. Because if you keep a state, no problem. Your EC2 machine billing will not come. But what are the storage allocate, right? That billing will be keep coming. So unnecessary, again, what happened in a month, 200, 300 rupees you'll be paying to the Amazon because you have to pay that the additional thing, right? What you have consumed, right? Apart from your free version, free time, right? Apart from that, you are using it, so definitely they will charge it, and you have to pay the money. Am I clear, sir? So now, guys, what would be our upcoming agenda next 3-4 days? What we're going to do that, guys, we are going to start learning the Linux very well because we need to understand about the Linux shell and its features. Okay, and we need to learn about the Linux commands. Okay, and also we need to learn about the user management, file permissions, all such commands related and the concepts. And apart from that, you need to learn about some of the things in networking also, networking based commands. Okay, and also like we will discuss a few things about the Linux shell scripting also. I might take 2-3 sessions only on Linux shell scripting. I need around 5 to 6 hours to complete the shell scripting also, right? And some of the advanced script also I will show you so that you will get to know. Okay, we'll not be really writing a lot of coding into it. I will tell you why we will not do it because like if I start typing everything, if I start writing the code in front of you, it will kill a lot of my time. It'll take a lot of my time. That's what happened. I will have a ready-made scripts with me. Okay, you would have already understood about the syntax and everything, like whatever I will discuss it. So you like when you just go and take that program, whatever I will give you as or script, you directly run in your machine. Actually, it will work actually. So what I'm trying to tell you that here, guys, we don't have time much to write everything. I will try to get all the ready-made scripts which is there with me. I'll just try to run one by one, show you what is the syntax and how it works. What is the syntax and how it works. Like that, we will be learning in that one. Am I clear, sir? Okay. Now, I think we will stop it here. We will not proceed. I'll not proceed now. It's already here. It is 11:45 here. What we'll do, guys, we'll stop it here. Tomorrow we'll connect again at the same timing, 7 p.m. But tomorrow I'll take it for 2 hours because tomorrow is Friday. So I will sleep little late. And again, Saturday and Sunday we have classes also, right? Saturday and Sunday we'll have 2 sessions, morning and evening. Sunday we'll keep it for 1 session at the morning. Let's see if I have a time. I will take it on Sunday evening also. If not, then definitely what we'll do that we will Monday, at least Monday 1 session we'll take at the evening. So what we'll do, we'll take more and more sessions from now onward so that I will be trying to complete this Linux very fast. Okay. And we will keep it everything short, guys, because I will not go very much detail is not required now. Even in the shell scripting also, we need not to really learn shell script in a depth way, because in today's time, Python has been replaced everywhere. So I would recommend you to learn Python or wait for some time. After some time, I will start Python also, so that you will be learning basics of Python and you will start writing some basics codes actually. Okay, so that's what. And what are the things we have? And there are many things are there to be covered as and when the topic comes to our mind. We keep telling these are the some of the things which will be taking next 4 to 5 sessions. I'll be completing these things actually. Afterwards, whatever is left out, few other sessions I will take and I will try to complete it like that. Am I clear, sir? So with this, we'll stop it, guys. Okay, there are certain things which today we came across. Okay, but some of the things you might be not be aware. You learned something new. Some of the things you are already aware, but that is fine. Anyhow, we have to cover all these things, guys. That's the reason I took some time to show you. But later tomorrow, what I will do that I will try to have a machine up and running before you come or before this class starts. Right, I would have already have a server which is up and running, and I will show you how to log in. We have already seen, but still again I'll show you how to log in it and how to start working on it. Everything will be we'll be doing all practicals from tomorrow onwards. Am I clear, sir? So there are some interesting topics also comes in between which I'll be taking, so that you will be aware of certain new things which I will be taking in this batch also. Okay, fine, guys. With that, I will stop it. Let
Rajesh?
me. Yes, sir. 1 second. Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead, sir.
Rajesh, like using putty or terminal is our choice or organization will?
Anything. That's what I said, sir. I'm more comfortable in terminal. In the organization, if you go, people will be using terminal, some people will be using putty, some
Okay.
people will be using. So it doesn't matter for them. It's all left to, because finally you have to log into the Linux machine. You log in anyway. It's immaterial. You use putty. Some people in the organization, what they don't know, most of them they'll be using putty only actually, because putty they find comfortable. Some people find terminals comfortable. Some people will find mobile XTRM is more comfortable. It's your choice.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, before Python also.
Python, what I will do is Python, I will try to take it some basic things, because it's not there as a part of our curriculum, but still whatever is required for the DevOps, right? I will cover that much so that you will be little bit, you will be understanding what is a Python and what are the programming constructs and how do you write a code in Python, how do you execute it, and we can build some small mini projects. We can build it and we can show. So I thought that way so that no, at least something will be covered. But in an interview purpose, when you go right, you have to do a lot of hard work in learning Python very well, because they will ask you a lot of lot of question in Python. Plus also they will ask you to, they'll also give you some coding, rounds will be there where you'll have to write the codes in Python only. They specifically ask you to write in Python, because if you say that I know other language and all, they might not agree. They might say that no, there's nobody there to evaluate. They'll say, you say that I shall write the same program whatever I have written in Python, but I will not write it in Python. I'll write it in Bash shell scripting, or I'll write in Python, Perl actually. So the interviewer might not agree, because they know that they all their work are in Python only. So what is the use point writing the program in other language? Even those interviewer also will not understand. So that's the reason I would strictly recommend that you have to learn Python from the scratch, and it will take its own sweet time, guys. It is not like that you can learn everything, implement everything in 1 or 2 months. It's slow process, gradual process. Within 4 or 5 months, you have to target to complete it. You are starting it today, means slowly one by one, you have to cover it. Okay, you cannot, because most of your working profession, or most of you are doing some other work, right? So you might not get the time to sit, stretch and study, right? Because you might hardly get some few hours, 1 or 2 hours. So in that also you practice it over the period of time, 6 months, right? To 4 or 5 months or 6 months, right? You would have learned many things actually. That's what I wanted. Incremental updation is always required, guys, in our field. We have to incrementally update slowly one by one every day. Otherwise, what happen? We cannot take everything all together and say that okay, I will study in only 1 week or else within next 5 days I'll complete. That's not possible. You cannot learn so fast. You have to do study every day. You have to do it actually. Every day you have to work on it. So with that, guys, let me stop the recording.
Sir, before wrapping up the class, could you please check the screenshots that I sent just now?
Yeah, Pankaj. Yeah. Practice.pem is there, okay? Yeah. What happened?
I'm keep getting a error message like permission denied public key.
Okay. Wait. Oh, you have sent one more screenshot, huh?
I was
No, only one is there, man. Why is that permission denied? I think it's the same error what you might be doing again because send me the screenshot again, man.
uh,
See, guys, I will tell you one thing. There are multiple things are there. Okay, how to troubleshoot the login issue. Okay, let me tell now itself. Okay, I didn't stop the recording. How to
okay, sir.
do
I'm sending
basic troubleshoot uh, in logging in Linux server. So guys, first important thing is that actually that okay, firstly what happened, you need to be in that directory where .pem file is there. Or for example, assume that in my case, I'm already in the download folder. I'm already in the download folder. That's what happened, right? I went to download folder. Assume that I'm not in download folder. So I'm in some place actually. So still you have to give the complete path. See, if I exit pwd, you could see that I'm under download, right? So when I do a ssh-i, okay, you have to give, what is it? Uh, you have to give like this. You have to give the path and you have to give, what is it, file name? Batch2. You have to give at least the path like this. Complete path of that file you have to give. Space and then say Ubuntu @ give the IP address of that machine. This is how, or else what I do, you have to directly go to the download folders like this, get inside directory and then do an ss-i and then give the file name like this. Anything is fine, but you have to be in the directory. That is the first point. Most of them will not be in the directory somewhere. They'll be saying I'm not able to log in. That is one thing. Second important thing is that actually, right? What happened, right? You need to check the security group, inbound and outbound entry. Now, what do you mean by that? Guys, when I created that Linux machine, if you remember that I had selected some security group. While creating Linux machine, you need to provide a security group. What are security groups? Security groups are same thing like a firewalls. In Linux, what we have firewalls are same thing in AWS. We call it as a security group actually. Now, while creating this machine, I already selected an existing security group actually. How do you check it? If you go here and if you click on security, and if you come down, this is a security group, guys. My SG is a security group. So what is all about? Can I check it? Oh, yeah, go and do a right click and open a new tab. So you got into the security groups. Now you could see that in case of an inbound rule, can you see there is something like an SSH? It means that you have opened the port number 22, which is nothing but the SSH. So this should be open actually. It should be opened, right? Or else what you can do that you can go and just say edit inbound rules. Can you see here, guys? Already there is an SSH open. Or else what you can do that while creating it, you can add one more rule and you can say that all TCP like this. And here you could see that you can say that anywhere IP4 you can delete this rule. You don't want this, you can delete this, you can delete this. You have opened the alt traffic, which is not correct exactly, but still okay, fine. For us practicing, we'll open alt TCP traffic and I'll just save the rule. So you are now, you could see that all traffic, earlier it was SSH, now any TCP or IP traffic will be there, everything it should allow. So I have just given, and I could see that it has taken the port number all 0265, 6065, all ports have been included. Earlier what happened, it was showing only 22. Now all traffic, all port number is open. This is actually dangerous, it is not good, but still for our practicing, because we all are practicing in our account side, there's no harm in giving this all TCP just to make your life easy. So this is the second point. You have to make sure that you have to check the security rule. Inbound and outbound rule should be fine, so that you'll be able to, at least SSH should be opened actually, or the port number 22 should be open. That is, and the third important thing, what you have to check is that actually that sometime what happened, guys, whatever the file is there, like for example, batch.pem, batch2.pem is there, right? That should always have a permission 400. Sometime what happened, the permissions will get changed. Because of that reason also what happened, right? You will not be able to log in, even though everything is fine. You're giving a batch.2 by using SFNIE and you're giving Ubuntu at the public. Still sometime you'll not be able to log in, because this file, it should always have a permission 440. This is a permission, but sometime what happened, right? This file will be sometime this file batch2.pem might have or will have 644 permission, which is wrong actually. So because of 644 permission, it will not allow it to log in it. That's what, please change it to 4000. How to do it, I will tell you in next class, not now. Okay, but what happened, right? By default, when I create this PEM file, by default, it has this permission 400. But sometime what happened, the permission might get changed. Due to that also, it will not able to log in it. So these are certain things, guys, which you need to, preliminary things which you have to check it, right? You have to check it. Still it is not working. If it is, I'm not able to log in, means I would recommend that just go and destroy this, go and terminate that server and launch one more new server with all the things whatever I showed in the class, and then again try to log into that machine. I think that you will be able to log into the machine. And always, right, when you launch the machine, don't immediately log in it, because you would have not got initialized completely, right? This initialization status should be like this, one by one, like this. Once or 3/3 checks will be there like this. Sometimes some people will try to, as soon as they create, they'll try to copy the public IP and log in it. It will not allow you to log in at the very beginning. You have to give minimum some 20-30 seconds. You have to give the time. Once that is over, then you can log into the machine. It will already initialize many things. So like that, it will allow. Apart from this, guys, there are rarely, there is not much, like difficulty you will find in logging in. These are certain very basic primarily troubleshooting you have to do it, right? So as I said earlier also, guys, please make sure that you need to terminate that instance. Don't keep it here. You could see that I will terminate this instance. I'll just click on it. I already clicked on it, but still again, I'll click on it, go here, instance state, and you could see that terminate instance, or terminate or delete that instance. So go and delete that instance. I would always recommend that please delete at the end of the day. And then again, when you start practicing from tomorrow, or when you continue to practice tomorrow, launch a new server and do it actually, because that will save all your free trial eligibility. Plus a lot of hours will get, will be saved, so that you can use those hours for your next upgradation. When you are upgrading some other new things, right? At that time, you might need some servers for longer time. Now today you are just launching within 1 or 2 hours, you are stopping it or you are killing it and you are practicing it. But tomorrow what happened, as and when you learn many things, right? You need hours together. Which means that you'll be practicing for 3-4 hours or 5 hours. At that time, the all stretch 5 hours, you need to get a free, free trial eligibility only you have to get. Okay, so for that you have to save all the time. So because we have a very short duration, 6 months they have given, earlier it was 1 year. Plus even they have decreased the credit also, and they have given all the freeware versions, free plan versions, basic plan versions, and all. They have reduced the time also. Hence, I'm saying that okay, go and terminate always if you're not using it. Am I clear, sir? So with this, guys, I'll stop it. We will continue from tomorrow again, right? Tomorrow is Friday. We will do for 2 hours, guys. Go and stop. I will go and stop this recording.